How you doing, everybody? And welcome to the long-awaited part 3 of the 6 human needs. And today we're going to talk about love and connection. So the 6 human needs, of course, we're talking about our need for variety, or certainty, right? We're humans. We like to have both and or one of the other whenever we choose to. That's just kind of how we roll. So certainty and variety. We talked about significance, and today we're going to be talking about love and connection. Love and connection, most people are like, that's obvious. It's an obvious thing that humans need, but we're going to talk about how some of those needs get met and how some people perceive those kinds of ways to meet love and connection, and how sometimes this can create like a dissonance with our understanding versus what we're doing to ourselves. But before we even get to that, show reel. Welcome back. Okay, so love and connection. When talking about love and connection, of course, you're talking about a need to feel wanted, a need for someone to actually place what you feel are your needs first and ahead. It's where people make you feel that you're being considered, that you're being talked to. And then it goes even deeper than what actually words can convey. I've read some beautiful poems and heard some wonderful music. I think more if it's on music because music just has a way of translating emotion, right? Way past beyond what words can share. And that's pretty much how we conceive of love, right? It's a feeling that everyone has. Normally, when people have it, you can feel it's generated in the center of yourself, right? Your heart center. And that's a good thing. Anytime that you have positive feelings that generate from your heart center, you know that they're genuine positive feelings. That's something that you can think about. You can make yourself aware of it when you kind of do your bioscan or make yourself aware of what's going on with yourself, what's going on with your body, how you're feeling, how you're thinking, because a lot of that has to do with our need for love and connection. Sometimes people can take something that they can construe as love and connection and they can mistranslate that. So, for instance, there are people who may have an addiction of some sort, that they're addicted to a certain kind of food, or maybe they're addicted to food. Maybe they're addicted to coffee. Maybe they're addicted to being, having a lot of attention. Maybe they're addicted to chemicals, cigarettes, drugs, pharmaceuticals, whatever it is, right? They feel somehow this connection, something that makes them feel whole, something that helps them to deal with what they're going on. And one of the hardest things to go through life and learn is how to love yourself. So our need for love, right? It does not just our need for love from with other people. Like I want a boyfriend, I want a girlfriend, I want a husband, I want a wife, I want a partner, I want someone that's going to be with me in this existence, and because I don't want to feel like I am alone in this trip and on this journey. It goes a lot deeper than that. Some people want a love that goes beyond that romantic love, right? We talk about the agape love. A lot of times that's what parents have for children. What we should have felt with our parents is an overwhelming sense of love without judgment, and without people putting flags, right? Like, I will love you if. That happens a lot, right? If that has happened to you, please put that down below in the comments. Has someone put expectations or like restrictions on love? Because if you grew up that way, then the chances that you're going to take what you learned when you grew up and exhibit that going forward to other people, that is prevalent. That's just going to be there until you recognize it and learn how to move past that. But it's just everyone needs that kind of connection. I know everyone's seen that movie where you had Tom Hanks and the volleyball and his handprints on the volleyball, and his name was Wilson, right? He was talking to this volleyball, and you feel like you're going crazy, but we need that connection. Humans, we're still animals. We're on this planet. We're part of like the biosphere here, and we're animals that live on the planet. You're not a mineral, you're not a vegetable or a plant, so obviously you're going to have to be some kind of animal. But we're social animals, so we need to connect on some level. We cannot exist in a healthy way by ourselves. We will even start talking to ourselves if we don't have a lot of exposure to other people, because we need to feel like our ideas, our emotions, our thoughts are being bounced off about somebody else, because we need each other as sounding boards, right? That need for connection, it goes way beyond just being in someone's presence. It's a way that we actually validate our existence, right? Do I exist? If I'm the only one that can see this, hear this, whatever, is it real? And that's like a deeper level of connection that most people don't understand, is we need the people around us because we need to feel validated in some way. That's our connectedness. And we need not only to receive love, because that's really important, but in order to know that you actually learned how to love yourself, you have to give it. And there are people where that's just our thing. We have to feel love, and we feel like we give. If we can give love, then we know that we're going to receive it in some way. This kind of connectivity has a lot to do with our health. There is something that and it's a horrible, horrible thing. When I was in the military, every year we would have a period of time, right? A training. It would be like within a week, you'll have a whole bunch of these units going through this yearly training. And one of the things that they would teach us about, bring to our awareness, was domestic violence. They would show a very not, oh, some of these pictures, like, they were like shocking, and they were kind of traumatic and would make me feel really upset. But they would show us pictures of children that were being abused. And one of them was abused in a way that the person didn't even have to lay their hands on this child, okay? It was, this child had died purely because she had decided that she didn't want to be here anymore. They call that failure to thrive. Humans have this, and not just as children. This can happen when we get older too, where you decide that you don't want to be here anymore. But a lot of times that's because no one's ever touched them, talked to them. They've had no connection whatsoever. They've had nothing, no hugs, no kisses, nothing beyond the changing of diapers or the feeding, right? We need something else besides just the basics, right? That's what helps us to do better. That's what helps us to act better. That's what helps us to dream and to provide that support, to create value. We need that kind of connection, that kind of feeling of love, or, we will fail to thrive. Go ahead and look that up. I encourage you to do your research, because that's something that's real. So if a child, right, if a child can die because not receiving any kind of love or attention beyond their basic eat, sleep, change your diaper, right, then what do you think that does to a person? Just your average person that has survived childhood but has no additional connection, right? We will exhibit something that is akin to a failure to thrive, but we're going to put it in more destructive ways. So we're going to go take all of our focus into something that we feel like generates, or that it like takes us the place of real love and real connection. That could be anywhere from drugs and alcohol to sex. There's what we choose to put ourselves into in order to have what we feel like is a connection, right? It'll change as as you change. So I guess it just depends on that person's personality and what they've been exposed to. But we will put ourselves into a state of addiction in order to feel safe, in order to feel connected, in order to feel loved, in order to be able to cope. because at that point, that person feels utterly alone. So, in order to be normal, in order to feel connected in any way, they resort to these kinds of things. So, I just, I think personally in my life experiences, I have gotten the most out of everything that I do when I remember to love myself first. There's a saying that you can't fill other people's cup when your cup is empty, and it's true. Even if you understood the need for love and the need for compassion, if you're consistently giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and your cup is empty, you're not going to be able to give anymore. You might possibly get yourself to the point of not just being like emotionally exhausted and mentally exhausted, but it affects your body. You can get physically exhausted. You can become sick. You can become ill. So you really need to remember that in order to love and connect with other people, you have to love and connect with yourself first. Right? Don't forget the source of everything that you're experiencing right now is you and within you. Right? So literally you can't do anything unless you make sure that you're right first. Right? That doesn't mean to pursue what you want and your needs over the needs of others. That is not the same thing. That's a whole new different video. Okay. But always, this is what I like to say, about 55 or more percent of your life should be lived with consideration to yourself, but in the service of others. Right. And those of you who are hearing this, who understand that, I got it. We're on the same level of consciousness. Yeah, high five. High five. High five. Don't leave me hanging, peoples. High five. Okay. So that's where we're at right now. So remember to love yourself. In order for you to receive love fully, you have to have the clear understanding of what that means for the other person. If you're talking about wanting a relationship and a love relationship, right, which is supposed to be reciprocal, and in some way understand how that other person sees love. There's a book that's out there that I love that book. It's called The Love Languages, right? And I'll go ahead and put the link to where you can get that. And that actually lets you know that there are different ways that people can translate love as well. There's 5 different ways that people translate love the most. It could be someone translates loves, but if you give them gifts, like they love gifts, like physical gifts, like, you know, I got this for you. And they're like, oh my God. And they love gifts, right? Physical gifts. There are people who love that. There are people who translate their love in, like, when you give someone kudos and encouragement, verbal, right? Verbal positive affirmations for that person, something that makes them feel good. They're being told that they're doing well, right? That's another expression and language of love. Me, myself, gifts, awards, things like that, they don't really mean, they're not like, I like them, I appreciate them, I know where they're coming from, I can accept them with gratitude, right? Because I walked that journey. But so I can accept them and I can appreciate them and have gratitude for the person who's giving it to me. But to me, that's not the ultimate show of love, right? For me as a person, action is how I translate love. So if you're doing a lot of lip service for something, but there's no action behind it, and it's supposed to be some kind of behavior, not just some kind of change or something where I can tangibly see it being put into action for me, that's how I translate love. So everybody translates it in a different way. So I encourage you to go ahead and read that book. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. So if you did like this video, please leave me a comment below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe so that you know when new videos are coming out. Please go ahead and jump on some of my my gaming streams, because I am the Gamer Hippie. Right, we're talking about many aspects of your life, and happens to be one of my things. Because gamers are people too, and I want to make sure that all of my people in the gaming community, parents of gamers, friends of gamers, spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends of gamers understand how the gamer works, I guess, and just kind of bridge the gap between those two and get rid of the stigma of what people think the gaming community is really like. So, like I always leave with my videos, I want you to be kind, be love, be brave, and be you. And I will see you guys next video. Alohas.